Movie collectors out there, there are plenty of things that you do, that everybody does with their collections that really don't help matters. And so here's some tips on things not to do when you're collecting Blu-rays or 4Ks or VHSs or DVDs or whatever else. Let's start off with a big one that everybody seems to care about in the Blu-ray collecting community, and that is, do not give a crap about slipcovers. So this is an example from Vinegar Syndrome, one of the best Blu-ray boutique labels out there. For April Fool's Day, they made an invisible slipcover, and so they sent it out, and it was $5, and then you got a $5 discount for something else in the future, so it was free, and that's for their movie Invisible Maniac. Here you can see, and so here's the normal slipcover that came with the release, and as you can tell, it's just kind of a lenticular, so you can see the naked lady there, and then it's just this. So don't care about slipcovers, because unless you're just doing this to sort of resell, or I don't know, I don't really care about my collection's value. There might be a video out there like for, you know, most expensive box sets and all that, but you shouldn't care about your collection's value enough, and you really shouldn't care about the slipcovers for movies like this, because you can get the normal movie with the slipcover for $40, or you can get the super expensive whatever slipcover for $100. So you really shouldn't care either way. Next up for collecting tips is, don't buy everything all at once, because if you're buying stuff, as you can see right here, I have plenty of stuff on the shelf, but I have plenty of stuff just off camera here that is just sitting there because I don't have any room on my shelves, because I've gotten too much stuff in recent memory. There's so many sales every time. There's sales all the time, and so you can't really just focus on collecting everything just to collect for it. Get the stuff that you want. Next up for things to not do while collecting is sort of know that there will always be a nicer edition of something. So here we have the standard version of Roadhouse, and there's also another version from Shout Select that is also Roadhouse. It has some extras and everything, but this is the bare bones version on Blu-ray. But you'll know that there is always something coming that's down the pike from one of these boutique labels or one of these offshoots of studio labels. This is Roadhouse on 4K from Vinegar Syndrome, and of course this is the most comprehensive edition you can get of this movie, and it comes with a booklet, it comes with a slipcover, it's the 4K, the Blu-ray, a bunch of extras and stuff like that. So just know that if you buy the standard edition and you want something better, there's always going to be a better option. Looking at that for something like The Warriors, which from Imprint here, they have this super special edition that includes the theatrical cut. The theatrical cut of The Warriors was really difficult to find on Blu-ray, almost impossible, unless you wanted to get bootlegs and stuff like that. But Imprint came out with this wonderful special edition that comes in a nice box and everything, and has, you know, the information on the back here, and then of course you have two different versions of the film. You have the director's cut, which is inferior to the theatrical cut, because I don't really like the comic book stuff, but you get the theatrical cut and the director's cut, and you get a bunch of extras here. So this one came out fairly recently, but if you're out there looking for something, you can usually find it from one of these boutique labels, whether that's Imprint or Vinegar Syndrome, Shout Factory, Severin, one of the smaller ones, who knows, but you can always find something better. Another tip here that we have is, you know, if it's on Blu-ray, it's coming on 4K probably too, especially if you're buying stuff from Scream Factory or Shout Factory. They're sort of updating all of their titles. You can see the ones behind me here. I have plenty of them on Blu-ray, but they're slowly updating them on 4K. And the biggest example of this would be this Halloween box set behind me is, I don't know, like $500 for this box and all of the cool, you know, extras and stuff like that. But you can get the same exact content on the 4Ks right here. Or you can get them on the 4Ks in the Halloween 4K collection that I did a video about right here that's well worth your purchase, especially if you don't own this box set. And even if you do own this box set or the smaller one, you can still get these, because the picture quality is excellent, and they come in their own little boxes, and they're very, very sturdy boxes. So if you love box collecting or slipcover collecting, even though I said, you know, don't focus so much on the slipcover, you can still get these, and they're still readily available and perfect and wonderful to get, and very well worth your purchase. So here's something that you can also look into. So there's companies like Mill Creek and others that you do sort of, I wouldn't call them budget versions of releases, but you can see something like here with the Quantum Leap set that is from Mill Creek, that is just the show with the licensed music and everything, and then some extras. But you can get you know, something like Friday the 13th, the series, on DVD, where the first season I paid $14 for this, which was well worth it because Friday the 13th, the series is awesome. But you can also get something like this that's one of these big, gigantic, sort of monstrous digibook, whatever you want to call this, tomes of stuff. And it comes with every episode, all, what is it, 4 seasons, I think, or 3 seasons of 71 episodes, 17 discs on DVD, and you can get Friday the 13th, the series, and you can get this for like $40. So you can either pay for the season sets, which are nice and feature not a whole lot of extras, or you can just get the gigantic sort of keep case, quote-unquote budget version for less than you would have to pay for all 3 seasons on DVD. The last tip I can give to collectors that are starting to collect Blu-rays or are looking at some of the mistakes they're making for Blu-rays, and the biggest one is just go through your collection and prune it out, because there's going to be plenty of titles that you might have either bought and then just like threw down somewhere and remembered and are like, you know, I don't actually really care about that. For me, in my line of work, I do get sent some of these movies through work, so I have a bunch of stuff that I don't really care about and that are just sitting on my shelf taking up space. It's stuff like Old on 4K. I did not like this movie at all, so I don't really want it in my collection. Stuff like Profile, which was a fine horror movie, but I wouldn't really want to watch it again or own it, so it's just sitting on my shelf. And then something like the Paramount Presents collection here for Nashville, that's just sort of a movie I don't really care about, that's sitting on my shelf next to something that I do care about, like Near Dark or something like that. So just go through your collection and make sure that you have stuff that you care about. Now, if there's people out there, I don't know, it's not the same as video game collecting where you want an entire N64 collection or an entire Xbox collection. There's no way you can have an entire movie collection unless you have terabytes and terabytes of storage space and you're the Library of Congress or something like that. So if you're going for that, or you're going for a full director or a full, Vestron video or something like that, go for that. But it's with my movie collection and your movie collection, it really should be quality over quantity, because at the end of the day, it's your collection. You're the one watching these movies. If you're not watching them, what's the point of owning them then? So if you like these tips on movie collecting, make sure to check out some other videos that I have about movies in my collection right here.